Welcome! This is Solopreneur Success Strategies, where we talk about mindset, your website, your brand, your social media marketing, your customers, how to sell to your customers, how to find your customers, how to talk about the skills and knowledge you need in your business, and free software and tools to help you save time, money, and be more productive, as well as strategy and systems here on Solopreneur Success Strategies. Welcome! Welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies, and welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Get Your Message Out Tuesday. Today on Solopreneur Success Strategies, we're talking about getting your message out onto social media. And before I started talking about one or more of the platforms, I wanted to give you some idea on how you should make sure that your brand and messaging is going to be consistent with your voice and who you are on your social media. So today we're going to talk about your brand voice. And yes, I know, what the heck is that? Well, we'll go talk about this in a minute. So we're all about getting your message out on, and we've had a discussion on your brand, and we've had a discussion about your website and making sure your messaging on your website is consistent with your brand and what your brand is, etc. You can look at some of those episodes at jgtips.com/YouTube on my YouTube channel at jgtips.com/YouTube. But today we're going to be talking about your social media brand voice. So let's have a look at today's training. But before we do that, I'm Jane Gardner. I work with my husband for the last 20 years in our structural engineering firm in Western Canada, and I've been out on the internet for 3 years learning all about social media. Well, let's get started. Here we are about Get Your Message Out Tuesday. Well, this is all about your brand and your messaging, because your messaging is what is going to connect you with your customers. And of course, you have to know who your customers are. So it's always good to research that first. But your brand is your promise, your commitment, and what you stand for and stand against in your business. All your messaging should be consistent, accepted by your customer, attracting your customer, and it should have a unique edge to differentiate yourself from other competitors. So we had a discussion on defining your brand previously on the show. And also we've had a look at your website and how you should make it have the messaging that will be attractive to your possible prospects when they visit your website. And we had a look at your homepage, your About Us page, your Start Here page, and the blog as 4 essential key pages of your website that you should have at the minimum. But also have your brand messaging consistent on your other pages, your contact page, your frequently asked questions page, your 404 error page. All of that should be consistent with the type of brand messaging that you want to have, because this is how you connect. This is how people get to know you, like you, and trust you. And if you want to build your own brand in 6 days, as well as getting your brand voice correct, I have an offer at jgtips.com/brand, where you identify your unique benefits for your business, differentiate your business from competitors, identify your core market, name your product or business, develop your brand messaging, and test and measure your brand messagings to see if you are attracting your ideal customer and revising those. So that's 6 days of building your own brand with email input from me at jgtips.com/brand. So let's have a look at a brand voice. What is a brand voice? Well, a brand voice offers a consistent experience across all of your business touch points with the customer. So on your website, on your social media, you should have a consistent feel to your brand messaging. And I think I've said this before, that it's essential to create a brand image, create a brand voice, so that people understand who you are. And if they like you, they'll connect with you. So it lets your audience know who you are and instills trust in your audience if you're consistent in your messaging and your brand. And there are also consistency builds the brand, and then, of course, the trust. It's a factor that creates the image in your audience mind that your brand is either businesslike or funny or sporty or scientific, bright or soothing or calm or educational or an educator. Using your brand voice consists of using words consistently in your messaging that attract your customer. So your unique brand voice forces you to make decisions in your content creation, to make interesting content that is easily recognizable as yours. So, for example, I have been using these slides for my trainings because it's consistent. Your brand voice creates an emotional connection between you, your business, and your audience that is established through your words. Your brand voice can influence your customers and get them closer to making a purchase. Excuse me. Sneezing does not help with your brand voice. However, if you can be humorous in your voice, certainly that does make a connection. So when they come to know you, you've developed a relationship. They will be attracted to you because of your brand voice, because it's consistent. So what's your brand voice? So when we're talking about your brand voice, we're talking about the words that you use, the expressions you use, your whether you have very bright and sunny and very little text on, you say, your website's pages, just very cheerful, limited, or are you detailed and have detailed blog posts, or are you always very forceful in your writing and detailed and telling people what to do? For example, are you humorous or are you calm? Are you authoritative? Are you striking? Do you have a dry wit that you use on your website and in your podcast and on your all your social media? Or do you have bright and thoughtful? Or are you always doing quotes, for example, on positive things? For example, are you serious? Always doing informative blog posts that hopefully people will use? Or are you doing how-tos with very steady expression of ideas? Are you sunny? Are you socially conscious, always sharing things on climate change or causes that you're passionate about, and so that, which is an expression of your values on your website? So in the end, of course, you always have to know what your mission is and what your values are. And I think we've already discussed that in your brand and in how to create your brand, that you should reflect that on your brand image. So what's your brand voice? What are you going to do to make your text, post, social media, your blog posts consistent with your brand? For a while there, I was being called the I've forgotten what I've been called. Quote queen? That wasn't right. Anyway, I was being called the I was doing a lot of quotes posts whenever I was working with someone. Obviously, I've forgotten what they were. But for example, is that what you're you value most, and you want to use that to carry your brand voice for you on social media? Or do you want to just add questions all the time and polls? Do you want to give value out on your social media? You have to decide what kind of brand voice you're going to have, because you've already decided for your brand what you stand for and stand against, and what you're going to talk about and not talk about, and what you're going to be for and for against. So you've got to be able to make that consistent enough so that your potential customers recognize you wherever they are on social media. So you want it to shine through all your social media activities, your brand voice. And there's certain words that you can use. You have to determine what words you want to use in your brand voice. And there's obviously ways that you can learn how to do that. And that includes 6 days to build your own brand. We have a section in there where you go through and figure out the words and the brand voice that you want to have in terms of your social media and your web posts. You can go to jgtips.com/brand and have a look at the outline of the course there. Because when you have your messaging, when you're doing your messaging, whether it's on social media, on your website, or wherever you might have your brand, you can attract your customer to your brand voice. So there you go. So I think, obviously, being on video, for example, and having the Solopreneur success strategies, if you've been following me for a while, you know a little bit about me and what I stand for and stand against, and what things annoys me and what things I laugh at, for example. So certainly that is another thing you should consider, is being on video, if you want to have people get to know you better. But in the same way, there are certain things that I won't speak about, and there's certain things I do speak about when I'm on social media, because these are what I have decided to be my brand voice. So remember to try to be consistent when you're doing your brand voice. So next week we'll have a look at Facebook. It's always a challenge on Facebook. It changes so quickly, but we'll look at it how it is now. Maybe I'll give you the date so you know what date it is, and so this is so for the current situation on Facebook. It's not great for business. I'm quite disappointed. 3 years ago, I could have done a lot more than I can now as a business on Facebook, because of course they want businesses to advertise. So maybe I should do a test and advertise for next week and tell you how successful that was for my brand. But anyway, this is Jane Gardner, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now. Please subscribe, like, or comment. Where's my subscribe, like, or comment brand? There it is. I like that one. Subscribe, like, and comment on my YouTube channel. Be much appreciated having feedback, because maybe I can help you. Bye. Thank you for listening. This has been Jane Gardner at Solopreneur Success Strategies. Please go and subscribe at jgtips.com/programs, and also to find out about other programs as well over at jgtips.com/programs. And over there we have a free mindset magazine for you to check out at jgtips.com/mindset offer. So welcome. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again here tomorrow, as this is a 7-day-a-week show on mindset, your customer, getting your message out on social media and on your website, talking about strategies, talking about business systems, talking about all kinds of things, including the skills that you need as a solopreneur. So please come back and subscribe at jgtips.com/programs. Thank you.